With all the drama of the budget cap breach, you wouldn't be hard-pressed to think we're in an episode of Desperate Housewives and not at the end of an F1 season, with everyone from armchair critics to team bosses and drivers weighing in. What is the latest bombshell that the FIA have dropped, and how has Red Bull responded? We all know how 2021 ended in controversial style, with Max beating Lewis in the final lap of Abu Dhabi. The drama elevated Formula One to a new level, with everyone having an opinion on the season, whether they were Formula One fans or not. Athletes worldwide, including Tyson Fury, shared their opinions on social media. It appears the drama has not ended there, with Red Bull now being informed that they were in breach of Formula One's budget cap and may face penalties and fines. It has thrown another gloomy shade and produced a new discussion point about the season's fate. It has sparked a debate that the 2021 season did not require. Everything appears hazy to the outer world, but to the world of F1, it's a big worry. Red Bull has been found guilty of a small overspend violation of Formula One's cost cap restrictions for 2021, although their punishment is yet to be determined. The team exceeded the £114 million budget restriction. However, the infringement did not exceed the 5% level that would have resulted in a serious breach, so the penalty is unlikely to result in Max Verstappen losing the 2021 World Championship. Owing to their latest offer to Red Bull, the FIA appear to have offered an olive branch to Red Bull in the form of an accepted breach agreement, or an ABA for short. The development in the saga that has dominated the start of the latest GP weekend leaves Red Bull with a decision over whether to accept the offer and likely a lesser punishment, or go before an adjudication panel. The details of the FIA's offer to Red Bull, however, are still unclear. The rumors coming from the Red Bull camp are that they will not accept the ABA, as this would mean they're admitting they're in the wrong and would rather prove they have nothing to hide in front of a panel of judges. You know how the old saying goes, innocent until proven guilty. This is a brave move from Red Bull, as an ABA allows for drawing a swift line under the cost cap scandal as well, and a less severe punishment. It allows financial penalties and some minor sporting penalties, but crucially not a points deduction or a reduction in the team's future cost cap, more damaging punishments that have been called for by F1 drivers and teams. If Red Bull rejects the FIA's offer, the case would be heard by the cost cap panel, and the full range of penalties would be on the table. Verstappen, who is now a double world champion after wrapping up his 2022 crown, gave his opinion. "I think it's mainly because we're doing well," he said. "They tried to slow us down in any way possible. That's how Formula One works. Everyone is, at the end of the day, a bit hypocritical. We just have to focus on our job." Verstappen added, "Nothing has been confirmed yet, but as a team we know what we have to deal with, and we are very clear with what we think is correct." His thoughts were echoed by teammate Sergio Perez. "We believe that we are in line, and we believe that everything will come up in the right situation," Perez added. "Obviously, I will leave it down with my team to solve that together with the FIA. At the end of the day, there are always teams that want to take performance out of you, especially when you are winning. It's part of the sport, and this has been the case forever. I just think it's a normal situation. At the end of the day, facts will come out and people will see and understand the situation." Red Bull Supremo Christian Horner has lambasted the overcomplicated nature of regulations in Formula One and called on the FIA to simplify them to allow a smoother running of the sport. The team principal has suggested F1 could benefit from changes to the current rules set out by the FIA amid the team's ongoing cost cap crisis. Horner said when quizzed about the one thing he would change, "I think I would reduce the amount of regulations that we have to comply with, or make the regulations simpler," he told Bloomberg in a wide-ranging interview. Never far away from the public eye and not afraid to speak his mind, Hamilton has also added his 2 cents while he looks to ensure the playing fields are even in F1. Lewis Hamilton has urged the FIA to act over Red Bull's budget cap breach to avoid encouraging teams to follow their lead in the future. The Mercedes star has broken his silence on the matter after the Austrian manufacturer were found guilty of a minor breach following the FIA's financial audit earlier in October. Hamilton has never shied away from discussing difficult topics in Formula One, ranging from human rights concerns in the Middle East to the sport's lack of inclusivity. And the 7-time world champion, who was pipped to the 2021 title by Red Bull's Max Verstappen, thinks that the FIA must take a zero-tolerance approach to ensure the cost cap does not become redundant in F1. "I do think the sport needs to do something about this," Hamilton told reporters ahead of the United States Grand Prix. Otherwise, if they're relaxed with these rules, then all the teams will just go over. Meanwhile, another battle is brewing for Red Bull, as other teams appear to be encouraging the FIA to make the penalty, particularly for Red Bull, quite severe. I'm sure you think, who could have done something so heinous, right? It's none other than McLaren Chief Executive Officer Zak Brown. McLaren CEO Zak Brown has detailed how the FIA could penalize Red Bull for exceeding the F1 cost cap budget. The FIA confirmed last week that Christian Horner and his team were found guilty of a small budget cap break, and the American has sought punishments that would cost Red Bull both financially and on the track. To express his concerns, the 50-year-old wrote a letter to FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem, which was also forwarded to F1 President Stefano Domenicali. It urged that they face the repercussions of their conduct. Any team that has overspent has acquired an unfair edge both in the current year's vehicle development and the following year's car development, Brown wrote. He said the FIA should convey subsequent action and fines at a rapid speed to safeguard the integrity of F1. Zak Brown doesn't believe a financial penalty alone would be a sufficient consequence for an overspending breach or a major procedural failure. A sporting penalty is plainly required in certain cases, as established by the FIA. Now, the issue with Zak Brown is that he is proposing that the overspenders be penalized by a reduction in the team's cost cap in the year following the ruling, with the penalty equal to the overspend plus a further fine. This means that $2 million represents a 25 to 50% increase in an annual car development budget, which would have a major positive and long-term impact. Furthermore, he proposed that modest overspending sporting fines of a 20% decrease in CFD and wind tunnel time should be implemented. He says that these should be implemented next year to counteract the unfair advantage the team currently has and will continue to enjoy. Brown also advised that the FIA provide information on any offences as soon as feasible to prevent any loopholes in the cost cap mechanism. Following his team's small cost cap violation, Red Bull CEO Christian Horner told F1 executives that the manufacturer would spend an extra 10% of whatever budget was proposed. Red Bull is yet to be punished after being found guilty of a minor violation for the 2021 season, with penalties ranging from fines to point reductions. Meanwhile, some are also calling for the punishers to be punished. How hilarious. Ralf Schumacher has urged the FIA to be punished for a probable leak of information on Red Bull being discovered to have exceeded the budget cap for 2021. While Schumacher feels Red Bull should be penalized if they are in fact in violation of financial standards, his main issue is how the information became public before any conclusions were made official. As a result, the former F1 driver believes the FIA should take a look at themselves. It appears everyone is enjoying this unite against Red Bull. Yes, that is aimed at Mercedes, Ferrari and McLaren. What do you think of the Costgate saga, and should Red Bull take the ABA or leave it? Leave a comment.